Ed Shufflin was the founder of Tombstone. He came here in 1877 in search of silver and gold, but all he found out here at that time was mad Apache Indians. Well, he said to himself, this ain't such a good idea. So he went down to Sierra Vista to Fort Huachuca. Now, Fort Huachuca is the oldest working fort in the United States, still working today. He joined the cavalry, planned on using the cavalry as protection on the weekend while he searched for his silver and gold. Now, he told his comrades at Fort Huachuca, so when I muster out of the cavalry, I'm going to run out in that desert and get rich. His comrades told him the only thing they're going to find in that desert is mad Apache Indians and your tombstone. Now, in 1878, right there at the end of 5th Street, he struck silver. That old good enough mine netted over $30 million in the 1800s. Tombstone was rolling in the dough. So as a joke on his comrades at Fort Huachuca, he decided to name the town Tombstone, and that's how we got our name. Now we start our tour tonight in front of the old Red Buffalo. Back in the 1800s, that was known as Campbell and Hatch Billiard Parlor. Now everyone knows what billiards is, right? Yep. That was pool. Well, Morgan Earp was very fond of shooting pool. Him and White were over at Shefflin Hall attending a theatrical performance. He told White, said, I think I'd like to go shoot a game of billiards. White told him, said, I don't think that's such a good idea, Morgan, because this was right after the gunfight, and all the cowboys were up in arms. He said, but anyway, I'll go with you. Well, back in the 1800s, they had a set of double doors just like those in the back end of the building. Also, the pool table was located in the back of the building. Now, they came in those double back doors. White went over along the wall to sit down and rest, because he fixed to have to go down to the Oriental and deal faro for a 12-hour shift. So he just sitting over there resting. Morgan shooting pool on the pool table. Cowboys came up to the back door, shot him in the back, severed his spleen, exited his groin artery, come up here in the front and hit an innocent bystander. Now, a second shot rang out, went just past White Earp and embedded into the ceiling of Campbell and Hatch. Now, White Earp went on to Hollywood, California. He didn't pass away until 1929. When he passed away, the coroners examined his body, but they found no visible signs of a gunshot wound or a knife wound on his entire body. Therefore, like in the movie, when Morgan told him, don't let him get you, brother, you're the one. Evidently he was. Out of all the scrapes and gunfights that White Earp was in throughout his life, he never got a scratch on him. Now there's someone for Dr. Goodfellow to come in and try to save Morgan's life. You're going to hear quite a bit about Dr. Goodfellow tonight, because he was a quite colorful character, especially with his wayward words on death certificates. Dr. Goodfellow came in, they moved Morgan to the back room of Campbell and Hatch, not on that pool table like in the movie. Those pool tables cost a lot of money back in the day, and it cost a lot of money to get them here. They ain't putting no bleeding body on it, I don't care who you are. So they moved into the back room, and that's where he bled to death. Dr. Goodfellow was unable to save him. Well, he come up here to check on the innocent bystander, but by that time, he done bled to death. Dr. Goodfellow put on the death certificate, died of lead poisoning, most likely scared to death. Like I say, he had wayward words on his death certificate. Now, people used to take photos in that first window there down the wall. They get an apparition of a man sitting alongside of the wall. We seem to think that may be White Earp, due to the fact a dramatic event happened in his life that night. He lost his brother. Well, they got so much product down that wall now you can't see. So I tell the folks after the tour when they turn out the light, shoot through the doorway and aim toward the wall and see what you can come up with on your cameras, okay? Now we're moseying on down here toward the Cosmopolitan. I like I say, Tombstone was rolling in the dough. Well, it wasn't long before the cowboys up in Texas, Oklahoma, and Arkansas heard about the big silver strike in Tombstone. They were part of the first organized crime in America. They called themselves the Cowboys. Mostly made up of ex-Confederate soldiers. Came home after the war, had lost everything they had. Their families had been murdered. They had an animosity against the government. They wasn't working for nobody. They rolled up here in Tombstone, but they didn't come here to prospect, and they didn't come here to work in the mines. They come here to take what you already had. If they wanted your money, they took it. If they wanted your life, they took her. They were running ramshot up and down Tombstone. Excuse me. Well, it wasn't long before the United States government found out about what was going on. Said, we got to do something about Tombstone. So they sent for the United States Marshals. White Earp, Virgil Earp, Morgan Earp, Pat Masterson, Buckskin Frank Lester, all deputy U.S. Marshals rolled up at Tombstone undercover. They were sent here to investigate the cowboys. Now, I said Buckskin Frank Lester was somewhere between 6'2" and 6'4". All the Earps stood 6 foot, 6'1". The average person in Tombstone in the 1800s stood 5'2", 5'3". The marshals towered over the townfolk, called them the goons of the Midway. Now, Buckskin walked through here one night going over to Shefflin Hall where they had a theatrical performance going on. Now, Shefflin Hall is the oldest two-story adobe structure in southeast Arizona. It still does today what it did back in the 1800s. It puts on theatrical performances. You have to check with the visitor center down there tomorrow to find out when the next performance is. Most likely next month, Wide Earth Days. But either way, he goes over there and meets a little gal by the name of May Colleen. Now, May Colleen was married, but Buckskin didn't care. Supposedly had 13 graves out there in Boot Hill contributing to his gun. He wasn't worried one bit about her being married. He told May, he said, let's go over to Island Street and have a drink. We only had 108 licensed bars in Tombstone in the 1800s.
How many?
Only?
108. On file at the courthouse. Anyway, you set up 2 barrels and laid the board across the top of it to call it a bar. Well, I came over and had a couple of drinks. He told May, he said, let's go over to the Cosmopolitan and we can sit up on the veranda, which is a balcony, and have our drinks while we smell the sweet fruit tree. Excuse me.
We're gonna stop for a
Dust
drink.
getting to me. Dust.
We were gonna stop for a beer.
Well, that would have been nice, but I don't do that. My turn will come later on tonight. Anyway, where was I at?
Yes, ma'am.
Sorry.
All right, no. They came over here and had a couple of drinks. He told Mason, let's go over to the Cosmopolitan and sit up on the veranda, which is a balcony. Now, that was the location of the Cosmopolitan. It started out as a 14 or 15 tent. It soon grew to a 2-story building the size of Orleans there with a balcony and a veranda on the front of it. But Buckskin really wasn't concerned about sitting out there and smelling those sweet fruit trees. What Buckskin wanted to do was because he knew Mike was going to come looking for me. Well, sure enough, old Mike come bouncing down the boardwalk. When he hit the top step, Buckskin put a round in his chest with 44. Loaded him plumb back down here to the bottom of the boardwalk, and that's where he passed away. Now, people are taking photos there after dark. Sometimes they get an order of a man on the deck. They also take photos over this slab here, that little wall, of that old slab back there in the back. That's an original part of the old Cosmopolitan. But the photos they're getting back there are dancing girls. Now, when the ghost hunters were here and filmed their show, we asked them, why are we getting pictures of dancing girls at the Cosmopolitan? That was a hotel. There wasn't no dancing going on. Their answer to that question was most likely the last thing on Mike Colleen's mind before he passed away was his wife attending that theatrical performance at Shefflin Hall. Therefore, we'll get an offset apparition. So you might want to take some photos out here tonight and also over that wall, see what you can come up with. Now, there were 6 witnesses up there on that veranda when Frank shot Mike, but all 6 witnesses signed a statement saying they didn't see anything. Therefore, it must have been self-defense. You did not go up against the law dogs back in the 1800s. If you did, most likely you wind up disappearing. Now, there's someone off the good fellow. He comes down, takes one look at Mike, so he died of lead poisoning. Now, that death certificate is on file at the courthouse. Folks, I highly recommend the courthouse tour for the simple fact most of the stuff we're going to talk about on the tour tonight, you can find at that courthouse as a matter of record. It lets you know that I'm not blowing a bunch of smoke. But also, ma'am, in the courtyard of that courthouse, they still have the old gallows in case you have someone in mind you want to get rid of. Now, we won't call no names. Now, grant you it's not the original gallows. They burned our original gallows in 1912 in celebration of statehood. But they built a replica over the exact same spot. And the orbs don't seem to mind, they're still hanging around. Okay. Now, the ironic thing about it is 3 weeks after Frank killed Mike, him and May Colleen were married. She must have loved Mike an awful lot to wait a whole 3 weeks to get married to another man. But the marriage didn't last because Buckskin was known to be quite abusive toward the ladies when he got to drinking, which was most of the time. So the marriage didn't last, and they drifted apart. Okay? So take your photos out here tonight, see what you can come up with on your cameras, all right? So mosey on down here toward Orleans.